morning, traders. I'm Dennis Dick.
And I'm Joel Elconin. Welcome to Premarket Info.
The end of the quarter. Always some fun stuff on these days. You get some window dressing. We'll have to see what happens here. Usually towards the end of the day, you'll get some crazy imbalances. Apple had a vicious rally yesterday. Looks like the bottom, at least from the short term, might be in. Research in motion, for once, does not disappoint. And we'll talk about earnings from Nike, Walgreens, Global Payments, and Accenture. Joel, what do you think about this market?
Well, we kind of went up yesterday like we went down the day before, kind of sliced through that area. Got up to 44.50. That was Monday, just missed Monday's low by a tick. Little weak in the pre-market, kind of trading in no man's land here at 1436.5. Just have to keep an eye on the Globex low here, 1435.25, and see if we're just going to little dip and rip here.
Yeah, this whole old support becomes new resistance trick where this 1445 area had held for a couple of days. Then we cut through it, obviously, there a couple days ago. Hung out the day before, but then yesterday got the rally, got right up to 1445, and sold off. So here we are, kind of sitting in the middle of the range. If you go to 1445 down to 1425, now we're trading at 1435. So you had a little bit of resistance here, and the market is trying to find some support here. I'd like to see it hold this 1435 and get some strength, and hopefully maybe a lot of times what you'll see is some window dressing here where they'll try to drive the market higher towards the end of the day.
We'll see. I mean, we're like I said before. I mean, this 1430 handle is very wide open. Are we up for like a 1440 versus 1432 bet today, or just you're gonna keep your hands in the pocket?
It's hard to say.
After getting beat so bad, I believe I'm up like 4 or 5 units.
Oh, come on! I think, yeah, right. I think we're gonna close strong. I think we could be weak off the hop, but I think we're gonna get this afternoon rally. Just my own opinion, just my own thoughts. We are down, 6 points here though, and we are showing some weakness here this morning. But it all depends on whether this market really starts to follow through here in the morning, because I think you could see some buying in the afternoon. Just my thoughts.
All right, let's look at your favorite stock.
My favorite stock, Apple, or my favorite stock, RIM?
RIM.
Look at RIM. Oh, yeah, my favorite stock. Anyways, every dog has its day. RIM is having its day today, up at 837. They finally don't disappoint the street. They still lost money, but they didn't lose as much as everybody thought they were going to. And the stock popped significantly in the after-hour session after reporting, is continuing to show that strength this morning, trading up at 837 after closing at 714.
Yeah, it's putting a rim job on the shorts here this morning. They lost less money than they expected. That is just kudos to them. We got a little bit crazy here, Dennis. Someone got an 890 print.
You want to know something too? I watched when that print. It happened on Boston. It was on a trade through, and just for it's a confusing market structural thing. But basically, all of those trades happened on Boston. It was trading at 810. And then on a trade through, it gapped up to 890, and then it was immediately back at 810. So only not too many shares traded up there. But trade through basically is just when a trade happens, which is inferior to the best price quotations. That's legal to happen, but they do happen, especially on stocks with news. So somebody who was offering on Boston got a pretty good fill.
Yeah, so after that, you bounce back down, and someone got a bad fill too, Dennis.
Oh, somebody got a really bad fill.
Yeah.
It's always, whenever somebody gets a good fill, somebody gets a bad fill.
Your buy stop. Good news, your buy stop is done. The bad news is it's done at 890. We pulled back to 8 immediately after that, and then you did have a tradable rally back up to the 881 area and a little dip back down. What you see now is a lot of consolidation in the stock. Basically, since it opened up at 4 this morning when Dennis got up to trade, you got up at you got an 820 range to 850. 850 seems to be putting a cap on it. So I would use that as resistance. And boy, I just tell you, between 850 and 9, you got to believe some people are going to be letting go of this stock.
Yeah, 849 was the high on August 10th, so that is a key swing number. If we start to break up above that 850 level that Joel's talking about, you probably have some open territory because you're in that gap area from back in June. So you probably have some open territory up to the $9 area if we can get above 850. But they always seem to come in and sell this stock no matter what. But it's looking good today, so I don't think they're going to come in and sell it off here today. But the key number Joel just gave you, 850, is a good swing number.
Yeah, and just to go back to this whole old support, new resistance thing that we mentioned,
Yep.
back in June, the 26th, 27th, 28th, you had three lows between 883 and
Right.
887. And boy, so that's good. There's not stock to chew through there.
Apple, what a rally for that stock yesterday. It was down early in the morning, hit the bottom just after the open, 660, and just rallied 20 straight points. It was an incredible rally, almost all of it happening in a 2 hour span just after the open. I don't even know what to say. That was an incredible rally in Apple, though. It definitely caught some people short.
Yeah, looking at the chart, it did dip through Wednesday's low, so you probably got it. Some people scared, thinking we
Yeah.
were going to not five, not yet. 656. I'd like to just go back. You're going back a week or so here, and just looking at the parameters from the iPhone release. The day that announcement came, we did make a low of 656. Then we had the monster rally. So I would look at that area below the 660 level. We're quite a ways away from that. But this 656, until we take that out, it's going to be major resistance.
Major support.
Trading at 682.17 was yesterday's high. We're $3 away from that. I'll keep an eye on that as a major resistance. In the pre-market, we did hit 684, and it seems like we're getting a tradable bottom here at 679.
Yeah, Apple's showing some good relative strength here again this morning, though. It's down only 32 cents when the market's down $7. So,
Tempting, huh?
yeah,
Tempting?
it looks good still. And you had some consolidation here in the afternoon with the window dressing coming in. It wouldn't surprise me if this stock starts to have another run here again. I think you did catch some people shorting it through that 660 area right there when it cut through the 661 low from the day before and got to 660. I think it made some people nervous, and they may have been caught short. And there was really no out. It went straight up and really no pullback at all. So I always like when I see that. And then you get some consolidation and then a continuation of the previous move. So it wouldn't surprise me if this stock's seen 690 today. And it's at what? It just ticked 680. So you want 670 before
well, it just
690?
traded 682.
Well, it's bouncing around quite a bit.
Boy,
Yeah.
I'll tell you, yeah, you just got to, is that tick worth anything?
No,
or is
that's
that
a
an
Fenrir
outlier?
tick. That's no good. That tick's no
Because
good.
what I'm thinking in Apple today, because you were over 700, 705. You had a dip down to 660. A lot of these times when you have a high like this and then you rally back into it, it doesn't quite go up with the same velocity that it did before. I think people are going to be letting stock go. Definitely a little bit at Thursday's high. I mean, I don't have good levels above the 680, 682.17 until 692.78. But I'll go a 690 versus 670 today.
Well, that's all. I'll take 690 versus 670. So we got our usual bet on that one, do we?
Yes, we do.
All right,
And
so
we're down.
690. I think it hit 690 before 670. So we'll have to see
I'll
how
short
that
as
one
much as I
works out.
can at 689.99. I don't care if I
just
go.
hold the stock down so it doesn't tick that
Yeah,
price.
500 shares ought to do it.
Nike reported earnings last night, and the stock is actually not performing very well here this morning. It's down almost $3, trading 93.22 after closing at 96. We'll go out to the dailies and try to find you guys some support, but this is another breakdown for Nike.
Why did it trade up to 98.90?
98.90 it got up to last night? I don't know. The numbers were 123 versus 112, so they did beat, obviously, not saying a lot of stuff because so the stock maybe did rally off the initial report, but then turned around and just started selling off. So it's funny, even if you add inside information on some of these, it's sometimes hard to figure out because they'll beat by 5 or 10 cents. You think, oh, this is going to be good. And lo and behold, the stock turns around and sells off. So it's funny. The stocks trade funny, and sometimes it's hard to figure out even when they beat. Sometimes they sell off.
Okay, looking at the pre-market, you did get that crazy rally up there. I'm sure we won't be seeing that. You got a dip down to 90.95. After that, recovery rally back up to the $95 area. But you're getting a lot of consolidation here in the pre-market, right around this $93 level, trading on both sides of it. Going back to the dailies, obviously someone was trying to wiggle out of this stock. You had four highs between 96.21 and 96.64 over the last 4 days, and then we broke down near the bottom. I like this. I like this intraday or the overnight low of 90.95. That coincides with the August 2nd low of 91.04. If that doesn't hold up, we could be seeing $90, but doesn't look like it's going to get there today.
Just remember, last time this reported earnings, it did disappoint. It actually bottomed that day and then ran for the next basically 3 months straight up. So, not saying it's going to do that again, but it seems like this stock will open, have a flush out off the hop, maybe even down to that $90 area, and
Whew.
then. But I'm just saying this is what it did last time. So, if I'm trying to find a similar move, 90, 91, even that has good support down there. So you could have that initial flush out, and then don't be surprised if the stock starts to turn in the next few days and start to show some strength. So that's what happened before. Sometimes what happened before can dictate what's going to happen in the future. Walgreens reported earnings here this morning. Stock trading down. They did beat 63 cents. Here's another one. They beat 63 cents against estimates of 56, but the stock is trading down on the report. Down almost $1 at 35.65 after closing at 36.60. So here's the stock with a potential double top in place because he had a high from August the 1st at 36.85 and the high yesterday 36.77. So if the stock starts to break down from here, you'll have the technicians looking back saying, oh, the double top is put in, and that's never a good sign.
In the pre-market, you have sliced down to 35.60 has been the pre-market low, and we're just hanging out there. It looks like you got a little bit of a bidder here stepping in. That coincides with the double bottom you had at 35.74 and 35.78. So let's use this 35.70 area as a swing number. I'm sure some sellers be lining up at 36 now. Just a nice round number like that. If during the regular session, if you break below 35.74, I know we're trading right there in the pre-market. There's not a whole lot of cover there, Dennis, until down about 60 cents and three lows between 35.11 and 35.26. So you really got a key level for Walgreens to hold off the hop.
And Walgreens can move. I know in the last
It
couple
can.
of
It
months.
can.
I know in the last couple of months it's had tight ranges. So you think, oh, a 20, 30 cent, well, a dollar range for this is huge. Believe it or not, this stock can move 2 or 3 points sometimes off an earnings report. So don't be shocked if the stock starts to really have a move in one direction or another. I expect you're going to see a little bit more volatility. This isn't a stock, like an AT&T or something. This stock actually can move a little bit. Accenture reported earnings here too, and the stock is trading up significantly. So here's a stock, reports in-line earnings, 88 cents against estimates of 88. The other two we just talked about beat, but this one reports in line, and it rallies. So it's funny how the market it's just an interpretation of the numbers is all it is. The guidance was good, though. They raised guidance up to 422 to 430. Estimates were down at 414. That's for the full year guidance. So that's what really drove the stock higher after hours. Hasn't had any trades here this morning, but as you can see, was trading up at 67.89 last night.
Yeah, is this the one that traded at a penny in the flash crash?
Yeah, that was a good buy for somebody back at the flash crash.
Yeah,
But
I'm sure that
they
that
killed those
Procter
prints, though.
Gamble at like
39
35 or
bucks.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looking at first of all, this thing's just blowing the doors off a 52-week high. Not a ton of volume though. Pre-market high got up to 68.37 is correct. Since then, you've had a little bit of a pullback. The lowest you've been since that high is 67.50. All I would
All
say,
this action was last night too.
if you're trying to protect profits, I'm not trying to pick a top, but below 67.50, this thing could be in a little bit of trouble. I mean, you're blowing the doors off all-time highs here, and you blew through a triple top on a monthly, that is, right around the 65.75 level. So if it really does go into reverse, I'd look for major support at that
I
level.
think you can get some follow through in this one though, so I'm taking the opposite side of it. This
Upside,
is thin.
upside follow through.
Yeah, this is a thin stock, and sometimes you'll see these, and money flows in. Oh, they like the guidance, and money starts to flow in and look for a home. I don't know. I think this stock could continue to have some upside, so I'm scared to short this thing. I don't think it's going to be one of those that pull back. I don't think we're going to see 70 or anything crazy like that. But it wouldn't surprise me if this thing did trade up to that 68 and a half or 68.39 high that you were talking about, and maybe try to sniff up there. But
Would you go? Would you
you
go?
gonna you writing down all these bets?
Would you go 66.89? No, our listeners are. Would you go 66.89 versus 68.89?
66.89. The stocks, sure, I'll do it with you.
Okay,
So six.
okay,
So we
yeah.
got two bets this morning. So you're gonna take 66.89. I'm gonna take 68.89. That's quite a bit of momentum. There'll probably be a little pullback. It'll tick your print and then run up to my price.
And what
But
was the other thing that we got going on here?
I don't know.
Was
I've
it
already
Mike?
Apple 690. I've got
Oh,
an Apple
Apple.
690.
That's
Has it
right.
hit it yet? Oh, it's 679.55. So you got me on Apple last week there. So maybe you'll get me on it again. WMC, or actually, let's start with just finishing up our earnings. Global Payments, GPN, also reported earnings there last night. Stock is trading down just slightly, slight volume, but no bids. 43.50 is where it's trading at. The best bid's down at 41, so it's hard to say. Where did this get down to last night?
Global Payments, when the news came out, whoa, someone hit the panic button in this one, Dennis.
Where'd they go?
Got down to 41.50.
Yeah, that's okay. That's extreme. I don't think you're going to see it that low today,
No,
but
yeah, and then you've got to bounce to 43.50. When you have this kind of irregular activity in the pre-market, you got to go to the dailies. You got to look at this 43.08 level. 43.08 has held this stock up for since not that long ago, since the 14th. So staying above 43 for the stock is really important.
yeah, so we'll have to see where it opens. Breaks down below 43, does open up because you've had a significant run up from the August into early September where we bottomed just below, well, 39 bucks and then ran all the way up to 44 obviously. So if it starts to retrace, some of that move could get ugly. So for you longs, I think 43 is critical that it opens and holds that. A couple other stocks just to talk about. Facebook yesterday had a sell-off. It couldn't get the two-day rally going. The market was strong overall, but this stock just showed weakness.
Yeah, there's just so much news been associated with this thing. Really haven't got a handle on the whole rally and break here over the last few days. But talking about this 2040, 2050 level, the reason I'm focusing on that is because we had a 1755 low, then we had a 2337 high. That whole 2050 area, 2040 represents a 50% retracement. So we're checking the validity of this up move. If we can consolidate and hold here, I think Facebook's going back north.
I think Facebook could go back north too. You had this flush out two days ago in the morning there on the 26th, where it broke through the 20, caught some people shorting it through the 20, and then went straight up, actually ticked 21 bucks. Now it's pulled back. You've had a pretty good retracement here, but I think showing some good relative strength here in the pre-market, up 20 cents when the market's down 6.5 overall. I'd like to see this thing hold yesterday's low, 2026. That would be my bogey. I don't want to see it cut through that, but if it can hold 2026, maybe you can play this from the long side.
Yeah, the whole Barron's thing got this started,
It did.
at the beginning of the week.
Yeah.
So it's trying to recover from that.
Yeah. WMC with a secondary offering. That stock is trading down here in the pre-market at 22.40. Obviously, we've talked about these secondary offerings in the past. The price is what is critical. So when they do actually give you the price, that often can become a floor for the stock. So wait until you hear what that price is. I think it's going to be down around the $22 area. So wouldn't be surprised if this thing did tick to 22 once they announce that secondary.
Boy, someone got the memo yesterday.
Yeah, I know, selling the stock off before. Yeah, the stock sold straight off there on an up tape, and obviously, and now they've announced the secondary, and the stock's following through here, down another 60 cents. Moving on here, just looking at some technicals, we do have obviously the end of the quarter here, which can give you some pretty funky end of the day prints sometimes with closing imbalances. Let's talk about ExxonMobil though. This thing is forming a wall up here in this 92.5 area.
Yeah, it's got up there. It's been able to close over there only on one occasion. That was the 14th, 92.30. Snuck into the 92 handle again yesterday. Got up to 92 and a quarter, but just doesn't like it up there. Came back and settled at 91.80. This stock was very stubborn on the break on Tuesday and Wednesday. Really didn't go anywhere. Made a nice double bottom, 91.10, 91.19. You got it only 35, 40 cents away from there. That's major support. As long as it holds that 91.10 level, I think it's going to go back up there and bounce around the 92s. Below 91.10, Katie barred the door. We're going to the September 20th low of 90.09.
Might as well talk about Chevron as well. It didn't get quite the rally that Exxon did yesterday, but 118 and a half, absolutely enormous on this stock. So these are just your classic resistance plays. It's still a buck away from there, trading down a little bit in the pre-market. It's offered down in the pre-market at 117. But if for whatever reason we start to get that afternoon rally, which I think we might, then I would probably be a seller in this 118.50 area again.
Yeah, you and
Million high frequency
you and
traders.
Fidelity. Uh, Looking at this stock, one difference, and I've been noticing this for a while. Chevron Corporation is blasted and just obliterated all-time highs, while ExxonMobil still lags by quite a bit. The only thing I would wait for in the Chevron Corporation is you had this long trade consolidation new high period, really August through the beginning of September, and then you had another blast rally up to new all-time highs. Let's see if you get another 4, 5, 6 days of consolidation here with that 118.50 high staying in place, and then you could get a little pullback out to that major support at the 115.5 level.
Starting to get a little bit late here, so just want to talk about GE before we close the show because that did break out to a new 52-week high there again yesterday, pulling back 22.66. So just pulling back just slightly here this morning. 23 bucks. We always talk about the whole numbers. That is a big whole number here again. So $23 is definitely going to be a critical area of resistance for the stock.
Okay, yep, looking at that rally in GE, pretty much the result of Immalt talking to analysts, talking about potential acquisitions, cash for acquisitions. 23 is level. Just going back longer term, this stock really sliced down from the 25.75 high back in October down to 21.04. So as much as you can have a vacuum area in GE, you do, but focus on yesterday's highs, major resistance. That's our show for today, folks, and we'll be back with you on Monday.